What's up, guys? You are watching Fight Feed, and today I'm going to be going through the keys to success that I believe Ilia Topuria needs to have in order to beat Charles Oliveira at UFC 317. So, taking a look at this fight, what I'm going to be going through in this video is just going through a few clips from the Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira fight, and then also a couple clips from the first iteration of Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. As a quick side note, if you guys want to see a breakdown of some things on Ilia's striking game, I actually have already created a full breakdown of the Ilia KO over Max Holloway. I will put the video here in YouTube so you can click on that and watch it. In that video, I break down some of the slick tools and traps that Ilia Topuria uses with his striking. Mainly, a big trap that he does is he feints a right straight or a right hand down the pipe. And while he does that, he moves his feet from the lead foot position to get himself set up to throw a lead hook on his opponents. And I feel like that is going to be a key engagement for Ilia Topuria to not only land on Charles Oliveira, but potentially KO him. And the reason I think that is because of these clips here, just watching some of Charles' defense, watching some of the things that I feel he is a victim to or susceptible to in fights. I think the lead hook is a huge tool for any fighter against Charles Oliveira, just based on history, things we've seen him do in the past. I feel as though the lead hook is probably the best tool to utilize, and Ilia uses that very well. So let's go ahead and dive in. So this first clip, guys, is, like I said, from Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira. I don't know why I can't fucking say Charles' name. But what I'm going to do is just skip ahead here. Justin Gaethje did very well in this, and what I feel is also going to play into a potential KO on the side of Ilia. So what Justin does in this fight really well, he uses his lead hand to kind of throw off Charles. And in this specific scenario, it's not as prevalent. But what he does here is you'll see he throws his lead hand up. Obviously that's his jab hand, but he's throwing it up almost like a slap in a way of not only just a frame. And I believe he does that in a way of, it's that same trick that we've seen Israel Adesanya do against Alex Pereira, where you're throwing the jab like this, like how I'm covering my camera right now, so that you can throw the other hand behind it. And that's exactly kind of what's happening here. So anyways, what Justin does really well, though, over the top with an overhand, and he times this well because what he did with this lead hand, he throws it up there to get Charles to bite, okay? So real quick, Justin's throwing this lead hand because what's happening is Charles Oliveira is a counter striker. So when Justin throws this lead hand up like that, as though he's throwing a jab, Charles, you see, instantly is starting to counteract or react to what Justin's doing. It happens so quickly. This is the timing of Charles Oliveira. Watch. Justin's hand goes up, and right as, you'll see Charles is kind of getting ready to strike, but he throws right as Justin gets that lead hand up. It's like he sees this lead hand up in the air. Charles now cocks, throws, okay? But what Justin does really well there is he sees that and he knows this timing. So he throws that hand up. He sees Charles start to react. And then watch, Justin snaps an overhand just as fast as Charles did. And he actually catches him. If you can't see it perfectly, but he catches him on the side of the head, kind of. And then here's what he fakes a takedown attempt. Okay, goes for his leg here. You see the hand? He's going in for a takedown. He gets real low, and then he throws a uppercut right here. Then that takedown. So his as though he's reaching for the leg previous. So here it is. He's going down for the leg like this, and then he throws that uppercut, and he hits Charles right on the chin. And Charles drops, okay? This specific clip is not, I think, in the sense of Ilia Topuria, because Ilia, I feel like, at least from my recent memory of his previous fights, like the last few fights, not all of his fights in his career, he doesn't generally throw that uppercut like that to land. That's more of a Gaethje move, especially from like clinch. Justin loves that dirty boxing in the clinch. But what I was trying to show you is that part of he's setting up traps by changing levels, dipping, and that is something that Ilia does all the time in his striking. He's always dipping low to not only maybe even feint like a takedown, but to land those heavy shots, to get that power and land those heavy shots. So let's go ahead and we're going to skip ahead here. And then this is another engagement that I have from the Justin Gaethje Charles Oliveira fight. So once again, I am really highlighting this lead hook attack, okay? So what you're going to see, this is something that I think Ilia did the fight against Max Holloway. He actually, in a striking engagement, instead of going with the jab straight, what Ilia did in the Max fight, he actually did a lot of like feints with the right straight first. So he's like throwing a right straight with no jab. And then, but he actually in a lot of cases threw it not to land, but more so to make it appear he's going to throw it. And then he would sneak behind with the lead hook. And this is exactly what happens here from Justin. So you see Justin has that jab, that lead hand out there again. So he gets Charles to throw. He's going to snap this overhand again. That doesn't really land. It lands like on the very side, back of the head type deal. But watch this lead hook behind it that lands flush. And this is what worries me about going up against an Ilia Topuria. So we got the right hand here, obviously, throws that. Here's his lead hand. Watch how he hides behind that. And watch how flush right there on the side of the temple. That is a beautiful lead hook because it hits right on that temple, and that temple will, you'll see it throws off the equilibrium. And watch, Charles just Charles gets caught with that first, but then Justin follows it up, and this is like another shot. He lands that right hook, which that is going to be devastating. It's that lead hook attack, though, that always sets that up. So he gets that and then hits him with the right, and then you'll see Charles just fucking sits. Like a delayed reaction, but he falls to the ground. So Justin got 2 knockdowns against Charles in round 1 of this fight. It only went for 1 round. Still one of the craziest fights. If you guys haven't rewatched this, go rewatch this fight, because I just rewatched it yesterday and I'm just shocked. Like, I remember watching it live, but I just can't remember how crazy that shit was. Very action-packed for a 1-round fight. Okay, so now I'm going to skip ahead, guys. I'm going to show you guys a couple Michael Chandler things. So Michael Chandler has a very similar style to that. Not style, but very similar build to that of Ilia Topuria. He's a shorter, stockier guy, obviously a lot more stocky because Chandler's built like a fucking fire hydrant. But Chandler, in this fight, this is the first fight against Charles Oliveira. What he did really well is he initially in the fight start, he was throwing a lot of straights to the body. And I think that is what set up this. So right off the bat, Chandler comes out. He's throwing straights. He keeps throwing that straight to the body. But watch what he does here. He's not really throwing this straight, guys. He's not throwing this straight right hand to really land here. What he's really trying to do is like frame it up, make Charles think it's coming at him, right? And then come behind it. Because watch, you'll see what Charles does, guys. Charles is always a reactive fighter. He's watching this. He sees the right hand coming, and his initial response is to throw his lead hook over the top of Chandler, right? And Chandler does get caught by that, but Chandler just fucking eats it to throw his own, which if you were to look at Ilia Topuria, that is a very similar style that Ilia Topuria has. It's like, I'm going to eat yours to throw my own. And he does that all the time because Ilia's hands are fucking nukes. So he's like, go ahead, touch me so I can hit you too. And you're going to fall. So I feel like that's what's going to happen here in this fight against Charles and Ilia. You have Mike throwing that straight, but then watch, he lands this lead hook behind it. So Mike eats one from Charles. Picture perfect. Like this is fucking beautiful, guys. Charles has great striking. Anyways, he lands this left hand, that lead hook, and this one didn't knock Charles down. but he also lands it again. So watch, he's got that Tyson like footwork style where he just keeps it going. Now, bang, throws it again. Bang, right on the fucking money. And this one didn't knock him down, but Charles got wobbled a little bit. He shoots a takedown. So that is a clear attack that I see happening for Charles. It's that same exact setup, though. Let's go back. It's that same, like, no jab. Just it's like the right hand straight down the pike attack with no jab and the lead hook behind it that he sets it up. Go watch my video on Ilia. Ilia does this to Max several times in their fight. Ilia is very smart with how he sets it up, because before I think he was really setting up that KO shot that he landed on Max, where he throws the fake straight to land the lead hook. What Ilia did is he actually landed a very hard right straight down the pike on Max's face, and Max got wobbled by it, but he didn't get knocked down. And I think once he landed that, he now has that tool of Max is going to be watching this right hand all the time because Max doesn't want to get caught by that again. So now he can throw the fake and lead hook behind it. So yeah, we'll skip ahead because there's one more area I wanted to showcase that has me worried for Charles. And obviously, guys, I want to just call out that things may have changed since 2021 when these guys fought. Obviously, Charles has probably leveled up his game in a lot of areas, but I do think that some of these are fundamental flaws that are not necessarily fixable, because I think a lot of times this happens. It's not so much that Charles is making mistakes. It's more so that it's the game of fighting. They're in the middle of a battle, and you have to kind of read feints and do what you will with those feints or capitalize on those mistakes. And I think that this is going to be a hard thing for Charles to just train and not have as part of his game, because how do you train a fighter to continuously throw those feints and then like know when they're feinting or not? I think that's all part of the game of fighting. Anyways, Mike, Muscle Milk Mike, he throws the straight again. Okay. And like, this is a similar approach, guys. Like, Chandler is advancing. You know, obviously, as a smaller fighter, he's advancing. He's getting Charles back against the cage so he can do, like, look at how he throws this hook. This guy just throws his whole body into it. Like, there's no, like, what the fuck, man? Look at his foot. But he lands it, and it's so powerful because it's all his weight behind it. So anyways, he throws the straight. Let's back it up. Throws this straight, okay? And he just leaps into a hook here that lands. Oh, do we get a little slobber knock out of that? No, I guess not. It looked like it. So he lands on Charles, and then he throws that right hook behind it, but Charles is wobbled. He's hurt. And now Mike's going to land another, right hand now over the top. What the fuck? So he lands his right hook, and then he comes back. He resets. He throws the jab there. That's more of like a frame, right? Because he's trying to get his hand so he could frame Charles, and then lands another shot. I guess that's where I ended the clip. But lands another shot. This is what actually ends up dropping Charles in that fight. So the reason I made this video, and I've already made another video, guys, that you can watch, where I actually go through a similar scenario of Charles and outline where I think Charles can actually win the fight against Ilia. Go watch that video, because I outline a lot of the things that Charles did really good against Justin Gaethje that I think will apply to the style and the fight with Ilia Topuria. But in this specific video, I wanted to make a call out or show you guys what I think are going to be not only challenges for Charles in this fight, but where I think Ilia will find a lot of success. It's going to be doing that same approach of throwing the straight hand out there to get that lead hook to land. I just feel like the big difference in this fight with Ilia is I don't know that Charles is able to survive some of those flush shots that Ilia lands. And there's nothing wrong with Charles for that. I think it's when you look at the fact that Ilia, not only he dropped Volk like a sack of potatoes, he dropped and then finished Max Holloway. I just don't see how Charles is going to be able to just eat that shot and keep it moving. I think that over the course of this fight, Ilia is going to have that power that's an equalizer where he's just going to land, and when he finds that chin, it's probably going to be all over for Charles. I love Charles do Bronx. I want to see him succeed. I also love Ilia Topuria. I really don't have a dog in the fight. I don't know who to pick. Well, I know I'm picking Ilia to win. I don't know who I want to win. I kind of want Ilia to win, guys, honestly. I love Charles Oliveira so much, but given that he's 35, he's getting up to that age where I don't know how much a win for Charles sets up the lightweight division. Whereas if Ilia wins, there's a lot of great matchups that can be made. So I think I'm leaning Ilia not only in my pick, but also just wanting him to win as a fan as well. No disrespect to Charles do Bronx. I love Charles do Bronx just like the rest of you. Comment below, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if this is helpful. Do you like watching these breakdowns? I enjoy making these videos because like I have said before, I'm a huge fan of the UFC and MMA, and I love to nerd out on the striking that some of these guys use. So comment below if you see anything in the fight or any of the previous fights where there might be holes or things that I could call out. And let me know your thoughts. And then finally, just want to say thank you all for watching. If you're a new viewer of Fight Feed, I really hope you can subscribe so you can stay on top of all the new MMA content that I will be posting. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.